The Sunday school lesson for June 29th, 2025 is Jacob sets up a sacred pillar. Genesis chapter 28, verses 10 through 22. Welcome, viewers and subscribers to my channel, Read With Me. I am Audrey. If you are new here, please know that this is an audio reading of the lesson and lesson summary. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please do so to help this channel grow one viewer and one subscriber at a time. Verses 10 through 11. Jacob left Beersheba and set out for Haran. When he reached a certain place, he stopped for the night because the sun had set. Taking one of the stones there, he put it under his head and lay down to sleep. Verse 12. The backstory ends here, in which he saw and today's lesson begins with the next frame, reaching to verse 10, and the angels of God were ascending and descending on it. Verses 13 through 14. There above it stood the Lord, and he said, I am the Lord, the God of your father Abraham and the God of Isaac. I will give you and your descendants the land on which you are lying. Your descendants will be like the dust of the earth, and you will spread out to the west and to the east, to the north and to the south. All peoples on earth will be blessed through you and your offspring. Verses 15 through 16. I am with you and will watch over you wherever you go, and I will bring you back to this land. I will not leave you until I have done what I have promised you. When Jacob awoke from his sleep, he thought, surely the Lord is in this place, and I was not aware of it. Verses 17 through 19. He was afraid and said, how awesome is this place! This is none other than the house of God. This is the gate of heaven. Early the next morning, Jacob took the stone he had placed under his head and set it up as a pillar and poured oil on top of it. He called that place Bethel, though the city used to be called Luz. Verses 20 through 22. Then Jacob made a vow saying, if God will be with me and will watch over me on this journey I am taking, and will give me food to eat and clothes to wear, so that I return safely to my father's household, then the Lord will be my God, and this stone that I have set up as a pillar will be God's house. And of all that you give me, I will give you a tenth. I will now summarize the lesson. Jacob had reached a certain place, Luz, which was about 60 miles from Beersheba, on the way north to Haran. While sleeping, Jacob dreamed of a stairway that spanned the gap between heaven and earth, on which God's angels were ascending and descending. God was above. Jacob remained on earth. In the dream, God spoke while Jacob only listened. This is a stark contrast to the Tower of Babel, at which people tried to rise up to God. In this vision, God came down to humankind. Jesus would later point to Jacob's ladder as a picture of himself. John chapter 1, verse 51. God said three things. 1, God introduced himself as the Lord, Jehovah, the God of your father Abraham and the God of Isaac. Will he be Jacob's God as well? The decision to find a wife from Abraham's kin was a step in the right direction, but Jacob's journey was also driven by his desire to survive Esau's wrath. Number 2, as he had with Abraham and Isaac, God now promised to give Jacob and his descendants the very land that Jacob was in the process of leaving, to multiply Jacob's descendants like the dust of the earth, to spread his family in all four directions, and to bless all peoples on earth through him. Despite Jacob's past, despite the threat to his life, and despite his self imposed exile from the land of promise, God assured Jacob that he was indeed God's chosen man. Number three, God recognized Jacob's insecurity as one heading into unfamiliar territory. Thus, God promised to be with Jacob, to protect him in his travels, and to return him to the land of promise. Jacob awoke from the dream with a fresh sense of awe and reverence for this God. God stands on high with angels to do his bidding, and when he proclaims his word, humans must listen and respond. Jacob thus made three affirmations. One, the Lord is in this place. Two, this is none other than the house of God. And three, this is the gate of heaven. Jacob set up his stone pillar as a pillar and anointed it with oil to consecrate it. He called the place Bethel, house of God, and then made a vow to God. Whether one interprets this vow in a wholly positive or somewhat negative way, Jacob officially accepted his father's God as his own and pledged to give him a tenth of all he will acquire, as Abraham did in chapter 14, verses 18 through 20. But Jacob also seemed to place conditions on his allegiance, saying, if God will do what he had promised and more, then Jacob will worship him. Thank you so very much for listening. And remember to subscribe to the channel. Turn on the notification bell so that you will be aware of every time I release a new video. Thank you for all that you do to help me walk in my purpose.